I would like to talk about how I generate my determination. And I want to remind you also of how you've had your determination to get to what you wanted in the past. This is how you've created the successes of your life, right? And that means that you have that quality within you already. You may not be noticing it because a lot of other emotional stuff going on, and that's why you might be now feeling as if you are not determined enough or you are not able to get back your determination. And that's the topic that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about three specific ways that you can really generate that determination that once helped you get to the success. Most of humanitarians that I talk to know what that feels like to have that determination where you are going for it no matter what, right? I was coaching a client recently and she was telling me that the reason why she got the job at UNP3 after being let go, the reason why she got it was she was so determined that this is what she's doing and nothing else. And she was even telling me how she wasn't even applying or trying other things as hard as this one because she was like, this is what I'm getting, and let me go for it full on. You probably also started your career in the humanitarian sector with that level of determination, right? So you were probably one of those people who said, I'm doing this no matter what, and let me go for it full in. Even if it's very scary, even if it's like, I've never done this before, but I'm doing it because this is really what I care about. And I have like numerous stories from my clients who tell me that they wanted to work in the humanitarian sector so much that they were willing to go to a country, to a duty station that they've never even heard of, and everyone in their families were so surprised as to why are they even trying. And then they were so determined to say, no, I'm doing this no matter what happens. I'm doing this, whether it's a war zone, whether it's something else, I'm doing this. And that level of determination, we've all experienced it or we continue experiencing it. But in moments of hard times, it becomes so easy for us then to flip to the other side or the opposite side of that determination, right? And I would like for you to be able to have your own protocol, your own framework as to how you can get back your determination no matter what's happening around you. So the first thing that I really want you to look at it is how you are allowing small or insignificant distractions are getting your attention instead of you focusing on being determined, right? So these distractions might be something like, oh, this person didn't look at me right, this person didn't greet me well, or I was even coaching a client who was telling me in the group that there is someone from my country in this group, and I don't think I can really do the things and work on the things. And I was telling her that one is obviously you will be working with me individually, so there is that element where you can do that work together. But the other is this really the reason that you want to distract yourself from working on the goal that you really want to, right? Is that a good reason for you to say, oh, I can't really do that because someone else might be watching me or someone else might be looking at me? And the same goes for another client that I was coaching her, and I was talking about the networking and the importance of it and how we could do the networking to get her to where she wants to. And then she was telling me that, well, it sounds like a lot of work, right? And I was asking her, are you willing to do that work? And if not, why not? Right? If you are saying that going from this position to another position is so important, then why aren't you willing to do the work needed to get to where you want to? Now, you may have ethical considerations, you may have fear considerations, and absolutely understandable. I just want us to look at those reasoning and understand, are those good reasoning? And if they are, then what other ways we can still solve this problem? And if there aren't, then how are we going to get you to doing the thing? Right? And coaching is a great tool for everyone to really look at, okay, why am I behaving this way, the way that I see that is not serving me, and what I can do about it? Or another way to look at it is, how do I generate my determination again, in the way that I keep going to the thing that I want to, versus I keep stalling myself and delaying everything, or keep stopping myself, or finding all these reasons as to why I can't do this and I can't do that, and then keep distracting myself with those limitations instead of actually going and doing the thing, right? So that's why the first element to regenerate your determination is to look at what are the current distractive mechanisms that are keeping you from feeling the determination, and keep taking actions. The second one is the determination that you probably know too well from your past experience. And this is something that many people can relate to, and many people know that they have this within them, but they also assume that they cannot generate it in the moment when it's necessary, right? So let me give you an example. I was so hungry and determined when I was about to go to university in Germany to study master's, and I was willing to do everything above and beyond to get there. And the same type of determination I applied when I was going to work for UNHCR, right? And the reason why I was so in that determined mode is I was telling myself that this is the only thing that matters that I want to be doing. I rather not do anything else. And that might be true also for your personal life, right? In the personal life, you may also say that my family or building a family is what matters currently. Nothing else matters. So let me go all in on creating that. Right. So whatever it is, and you can even have several areas of your life, your personal life and your professional life, or your health, whatever it is. But we all know and have experienced that feeling of being determined, where we say, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter how I feel in the moment as to how I can't do or can do, I'm doing this. And these type of thoughts and beliefs in the past helped us to get to the outcome we wanted, right? In fact, I have seen most of the things that I've desired, I have seen happen and become a reality because I felt so much determination that this is what I'm doing and that's it. And I don't want to be doing anything else, also because I am someone who always works on the things that she really likes, right? So, therefore, determination in the past helped me to get to any success and I wanted, and also helped me overcome any type of problems in the past. And we can use that identity now in the moments where it is the most difficult, right? Which brings me to the third way to regenerate the determination that you have, which is you can observe yourself to look at, either you are distracting yourself, you are believing your limitations, you are believing your fears, you are believing your excuses, you are believing your mind's story that says how victim you are, how powerless you are, how nothing works. Either you keep believing all of this, and you probably have done it in the past, and you know how that feels, and also you know how paralyzing it feels, you know how much it influences your days. And the worst part is nothing comes out of it, right? And you have probably seen this so many times in your life. I have seen it so many times in my own life, where I always give this example of self-pity, right? So I was so good at pitying myself that the cycle of self pity would go something like this. Something would trigger me at work, or in the university as well. Something would trigger, right? Whether it's a trigger from another colleague saying something that I wasn't good enough, or saying something that I made a mistake. And then I would take that to mean that therefore I must not be a great professional. I must not be this. I must not be that. And then I would spend days feeling bad about myself, right? Days, not even like today and then move on tomorrow. I would feel bad about myself for days, sometimes even to a point that I would stay in bed and cover my face and then feel ashamed and feel bad about myself. And then after a while of doing that, I would get so tired of doing it. Then I would then tell myself, okay, enough is enough. Let me get my shit together and come out of it and come to the other side, right? That's what I would do at some point. So maybe after the third day or fourth day, I would then come out of it and then I would say, okay, enough is enough. Now let me go back to doing things the way I want to. And that cycle would keep continuing and keep happening every time, right? And then at some point I realized, observing this, I realized if I again go back to self-pity, again I make these things mean that something is wrong with me, then I would again go back to that loop, and I didn't like that loop anymore because I observed it so many times that I felt, okay, if I'm going to, after third or fourth day I will come out of it anyway, then I may as well do that in the same day. Or I may even decide not to even go into that loop to begin with. And the determination is the same thing. So when you look at how you feel when you're determined, how you function when you're determined, how are you able to solve problems when you're determined, when you look at yourself from that lens, you start seeing that, okay, either I'm going to be in that determined energy, or I'm going to be feeling bad about myself. I'm going to be feeling bad about how I have these limitations, how powerless I am, how this is not working, how that's not working, and keep staying in how telling myself and telling other people about how this is not working, that's not working, and not feeling good about it. And then in the end, also nothing would come out of it, and me feeling even worse about it. And I don't like that part. And therefore, let me go to switch to being the determined person who keeps doing the things at least within my control as much as possible. Right. And even today, this is the work that I was doing with myself. I noticed myself in the morning, even yesterday, but today in the morning when I woke up, I had this feeling of, oh, I don't think this is working. I don't think that's working. This is not where I am, and all of these things, right? My brain will get into that place of, you're not doing enough. This is not how it should be. You must have done something wrong, whatever it is. This type of story was running in my head. And then I was feeling like, okay, if I keep continuing that story, I know where this ends. That story will end in something like, okay, nothing worked, no results. I didn't get what I wanted anyway, so why bother? I know that story all too well, and I don't want to be engaging in that story anymore. So instead, let me go to generate my determined energy, because I know how that feels. I know when I see myself as someone who can do the things no matter what the circumstance are, to get the results done no matter what happens. I know myself to be that person. I know I have that ability and that feeling and that commitment to myself, and let me go be in that identity and take those actions that I want to. And that's how I got to talking about this and also communicating with you, right? So, whatever the difficulties are in transitioning, and there will be a lot of them, and I'm not denying them or diminishing them or minimizing them in any way, shape, or form. But I am also saying that as you go through one challenge after another, one difficulty after another, notice or observe your patterns as to how you get into the loop of how this is not working, how this can't be, da 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 da, how you get yourself into that. And then when you are in that, how do you keep staying in the emotional state that you don't like, versus to observe that and say, okay, I know that if we go this way, this is how it's going to end, like my self-pity story. And therefore, I don't want to be indulging in that. I don't want to be getting into it. I want to release all of the emotions, obviously, right? I want to process those emotions. And then I go back to, okay, let me remember, let me generate my determined character, my determined identity. I know I can be that person. And even though in the moment I may not be feeling it because all the other emotions are just hovering over that determined feeling. And once I release them, then I go back to, okay, here's my determined feeling, here's my focused feeling. And let me go and take actions from that place, because I know that that's how I get myself to the outcome that I want to, and I would like to increase my chances of getting there, right? And if you would like to do this work with me, especially if you want to regenerate your identity of being the most determined, the most committed, the most highly professional, who gets job done just like you were in the system, and now you want to do that to your own dreams, to your own visions, then you should really come coaches meet even today. So I have slots allocated for individual coaching, 30 minutes, and I already had my one coaching in the morning. Amazing. In the 30 minutes, we were able to finish the whole mock interview, you all, and that was impressive. So you wouldn't be even you may not even imagine how much you can accomplish in 30 minutes of coaching. And of course, we'll be doing it every week, and plus we will be having group coaching as well, where you get to get coached, ask questions, get the tools needed that you are fully equipped to get to making your transitioning successful. I'm very determined to get every humanitarian that I can coach to get to the outcome they want to, and even better. And that's what I want us to do this as well. So you are even on time to be doing the coaching with me. Even now, you can message me. You can email me at asel@transitioninghumanitarians.org and get the coaching even today, both in the individual as well as in the group. And I would like for you to start having that determined energy to work on the things that you want to, and not let any of the circumstances distract you or impact you in the way you don't want to be impacted. Okay, my dears, have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you soon.